Vigil, Ante, and the Vigilante Antics by BelleAmant. Read by Oakshadow 5. Chapter 37. Shame. Hunter Sorrow feels like, for lack of a better word, an absolute asshole. He's almost glad that Midoriya beat him in the second round, if only because that means he doesn't feel the need to beat himself up over his actions. But seriously? He's feeling awful. He's got to be one of the worst people in Japan right now. Well, there's always Shigaraki, Hunter thinks, his signature smile turning into something more wry, more self-deprecating. At least I didn't try killing All Might. The reminder sends a bolt of fear through Hunter's chest. He chooses to focus on the self-loathing, rather than the dread that lingers in his veins whenever his mind drifts back to the attack that was only 2 weeks ago. And he's got plenty of self-loathing right now. Lucky him. Hunter isn't the brightest. He knows this. He's seen the rankings so far. The brightest kids in the class are obvious, and he isn't among that group. The word intelligent makes people think of Ida, or Yaozu, or Todoroki, or Shinzo, or even Bakugo. Or Midoriya. No, maybe intelligent isn't quite enough to describe Midoriya. There's so much more to the absolute powerhouse that Midoriya seems to be. Genius seems like a better term, what with the boy's analysis that he seems to always be muttering, or his ideas to replicate quirks, or just his raw intellect and habit of knowing things. Hunter isn't certain, but he's pretty sure that Midoriya is already fluent in English. Shinzo too, but the focus is definitely Midoriya right now. Midoriya is so much. And Hunter is the asshole who hurt him. By being an absolute idiot. Hunter isn't the brightest, and that's why he ended up making a fool of himself. I'm kind of jealous that you can beat me without a quirk. Maybe that's why you're quirkless. What even are your parents' quirks? You don't know for sure? Like, fuck! How clueless can he be? Apparently, the answer is more than he thought, because Hunter didn't even notice the boy's discomfort until it was so obvious that he's pretty sure an empath across the world would feel it. By the time Hunter realized his mistakes, it was too late. Midoriya had to split out for him, and it looked far too painful for Hunter to feel anything but guilty. Yeah, he's definitely glad that Midoriya beat him during their fight. Midoriya deserves to go farther than him. Midoriya isn't an oblivious idiot who pushes their classmate to the point of forcing them to share the traumatic backstory. Hunter sighs, rolling his eyes at himself as he droops into his seat, eyes locked on the arena below so that he doesn't have to face his friends and their concerned expressions. That doesn't stop them from asking questions, of course. You're right, my dude, Kaminari asks, leaning closer. Hunter shoots the blonde's signature grin, nodding. Yeah, just enjoying the view. You seem pretty upset, Kaminari points out. Then his eyes light up, with realization. Oh, I get it. You do? Hunter asks, and feels himself leaning back when the boy nods quickly, sparking a bit in his haste. Yeah, you're upset because you lost, aren't you? Kaminari asks, and Hunter takes the accidental way out gratefully. A bit, yeah, but I'm glad that Midoriya gets to advance at least. Now that's sportsmanship, Kaminari cheers, and then he laughs. I get what you mean though. Yeah? Hunter responds. Totally. I wouldn't want to face Todoroki either, man. And, oh, Hunter hadn't even realized that. Yikes. Hunter mutters, and Kaminari laughs. Yikes indeed. The match is supposed to start soon, I think. As if on cue, President Mike's voice cuts through the air, loud and overwhelming. And the semifinals are about to begin! Mike shouts, enthusiastic as always. To start, we've got the boy who's done nothing but win since stepping foot into the stadium, Izuka Midoriya of the Hero Course! The crowd goes wild, and Hunter joins them after a second's delay, guilt still wrapped around his heart. And on the other side, President Mike proclaims, we've got the son of the number 2 hero, who's also been able to snag second place for each round, Shoto Todoroki of the Hero Course! The cheering continues, and then the match is called. And Hunter reconfirms to himself that he is delighted to have lost against Midoriya, because he's pretty sure Todoroki would have killed him in the first 30 seconds of the fight beginning. His two classmates move fast, every action quick yet confident as they go. Todoroki immediately sends out a giant glacier of ice, which Midoriya destroys with what Hunter thinks was a grenade. Like, a whole-ass grenade. "You had to face him?" Kaminari squeaks out, and Hunter nods as Todoroki sends out a smaller pillar of ice, which Midoriya somehow breaks in half with a staff. "I'm so glad he just stuck to a staff and a knife," Hunter says, and Kaminari squeaks again. "He has a knife?" "He has a knife." Midoriya clearly has far more than just a knife, a staff, and some grenades. That much is clear when Todoroki sends out another glacier, only for Midoriya to leap into the air, landing on the top of the glacier before sliding down effortlessly, throwing an object that causes a bright flash of light to fill the air. Hunter winces, even from far away. He doesn't even want to know how Todoroki feels. "Midori bro is hardcore," Kishima states from behind them, and Hunter can't disagree on that. The round lasts longer than his did, and it's a lot more destructive. Hunter can't help but let his mouth drop in awe when he watches Midoriya use his weird scarf weapon that matches Aizawa's to pick up a giant piece of ice and hurl it into Todoroki's chest, using the boy's quirk against him. Todoroki stumbles back, and those few seconds of fumbling are enough for Midoriya to get close, jabbing the staff directly into Todoroki's left side, sending him flying back. Todoroki stops himself from flying out of bounds by sending up a wall of ice, but he's only a few feet away from being knocked out of the fight. Hunter watches as the dual wielder stands, sending out even more ice, but it's weaker, and Midoriya doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. Hunter thinks he might have been right about his assumption. Whatever god made Midoriya had clearly tried to stop the boy from becoming too powerful. What a shame that they seem to have failed. The fight dissolves into one of punches and jabs, and Hunter can hear the faint echoes of shouting. The two are yelling, but words unclear. But Midoriya must have said something really damn important, because Todoroki lights up. Literally. Heat fills the air, and Hunter feels himself standing with anticipation as Todoroki lifts a blazing hand up. Only for Midoriya to lift a hand in return. And somehow, Todoroki shoots through the air, crashing right through his eyes. And straight out of bounds. "Todoroki is out of bounds? Midoriya advances to the finals?" Midnight proclaims, and Hunter can't even find it in himself to be surprised. Yeah, he's really happy that Midoriya won the match. And relieved that Midoriya apparently went easy on him. Izuku smiles shakily as he stands tall, taking in the cheers that fill the air. The cheers that are for him. He flexes his hands and looks at his gloves. He's been keeping them secret this entire time. He purposely avoided using them, knowing that they would be the most useful if he caught his opponent off guard. And man, had Todoroki been caught off guard. His peers had gotten used to his shoes, but to have the same sound-burst mechanisms on his hands? It was a whole new fighting style, and Izuku's hands are going to ache from the recoil for the rest of the day. He really needs to make some wrist braces or something. But he's done it. He's heading to the finals. Pride welling up in his chest, Izuku walks out of the ring and heads over to Todoroki. The boy stares at him with unreadable eyes, too many emotions welling up in them. "You could have ended the match so much faster," Todoroki mutters. "Why did you push so hard? You almost lost." "Because you're better than your father," Izuku says in return. "Did you know that you also tried to fucking corner me on my way here?" "What?" Confusion slips into his normally monotone voice, and Izuku snorts. Yeah, acted like some teenage bully, to be honest. He was all like... Here, Izuku deepens his voice, puffing out his chest even as he rubs Todoroki's arm over his shoulders. "Young man, you're strong. I'm not sure what your quirk is or why you're hiding it, but do well against my son. You'll be a good test to my ultimate creation." Like, seriously? Your dad sucks. Ultimate creation? I'm sorry, but he gives off mad scientist vibes. He is a rather angry person. Todoroki concedes without thought, and Izuku laughs. You've got that right. So, you fought me to prove that I'm better than my father? Todoroki asks, and Izuku nods. Yep, I'm firmly in the Fuck Endeavor Club. The founder, in fact. Want to join? Who else is in it? Toshi. It's just the two of us right now, but I'm sure you could bring in a third. If you'd like, of course. Izuku smiles down at Todoroki, who actually smiles back. I'd like that. Todoroki murmurs, I think I really would. And so, Izuku walks out of the arena, head held high, heading to the finals, and heading out of the stadium with a new friend beside him. Katsuki Bakugo keeps his eyes narrowed and lips set into a scowl as he walks up to the edge of the arena. Across from him, Ibex stares at him lazily, lips spread into the thinnest smirk Katsuki has ever seen. Katsuki feels his hand twitch, heating up with the familiar warmth that the explosive blonde knows well. The urge to let out an explosion is swelling up quickly, but Katsuki still has to wait to let it out, letting the cockatoo freak out in the commentator booth while introducing them. He rolls his eyes, not paying the man any mind. It's the same stuff every time anyways. Instead of listening to the reintroductions, Katsuki tries to size up his opponent. He quickly realizes that he doesn't know much about Ibex. Not much at all. What the fuck even is his quirk? Katsuki thinks to himself, glaring at the nonchalant boy that barely hides a yawn. He knows that it isn't physical, whatever it is, because the damn fool would have used it by now. And it sure as hell isn't a mutation, because that'd be so fucking obvious it'd be a joke. It might be defensive, Katsuki realizes. And that doesn't seem quite right. But Katsuki figures to keep his distance, play it a little safe. He didn't place through the first two events and the first two rounds of this tournament to lose to some insomniac idiot. It doesn't help that his two last opponents never made contact with him. Katsuki thinks bitterly, then pauses. Because something seems off. He'd paid attention to the other rounds. Of course he had, because whoever won would be his opponent. As if Katsuki would lose because he didn't study his enemies. But watching Ibex matches didn't do much. Danceface had walked out of bounds, while Raccoon Eyes fucking tripped her way over the boundary line like a fool. Katsuki almost wants to blame it on the male's quirk, pin it as a mental one. But Danceface did say that he short-circuited. It sounds like the boy to do such a thing, to break himself right before his own match. And Raccoon Eyes is stupid, so... Clenching his teeth, Katsuki rolls his eyes. He'll play it safe anyways. He'll just blast the idiot right off the arena and move up to the final round. The moment that the King Kyrian calls for the round to start, Katsuki raises his palms and lets out a blast. Ibex dodges, because of course he does, and laughs mirthlessly. I should have expected as much from you. Ibex comments dryly. Always quick to blow up, both literally and figuratively. So the idiot likes to play mind games, huh? Katsuki is better than that. Better than being psyched out by his opponent. He sets off another explosion. This time, Ibex jumps over the blast. He's closer. Katsuki takes a step back, just to be safe. Ibex notices. An eyebrow raises. Oh? He calls out, voice taking on a mockingly sweet tone. What's this? Are you scared, Bakugo? Was all of that confidence that you showed off during the oath this morning? Don't tell me it was just a show. Katsuki feels his eye twitch. He shoots off a third explosion. It's bigger than the last two. His palms itch, starting to strain. But it knocks Insomnia back a few steps, the boy being forced to lunge back in order to dodge. For some reason, this makes the boy smile wider. You are. You're feeling threatened, aren't you? Is it because I've gotten this far? Is it because you think I'm stronger? Or is it because I have something you don't? Katsuki freezes for a second, and then shoots off his fourth explosion. It's bright enough to leave spots on his eyes, and large enough to shoot across the entire arena. And yet, when the dust clears, Ibex stands strong, not a single scratch on him. It has to be a defensive quirk then, Katsuki thinks. He takes a step closer, hands raised menacingly. Oh, I hit a nerve, didn't I? You want to know what I have, but you already know the answer, don't you? Ibex lets his smile shift into a feral grin, and he barks out a laugh. I have Izuku. That's why you fight me so fiercely. You want to show me up, to prove that you're better than me. You think that defeating me will make your precious Deku come back? The words light something in Katsuki, his chest twinging with something the boy refuses to focus on. Ibex targets that, as if he knows what Katsuki is feeling. The purple freak's grin stretches more, almost impossibly wide, as he says, Izu will never be your friend again. You're nothing but a bully. You're worthless to him. It was never the other way around. Katsuki won't let himself be psyched out. He won't. He won't, he snaps. Shut the fuck up! Katsuki screams, and he sprints at the boy, palm raised. He freezes. The world goes blank. When it comes back, he's standing out of bounds. What? Katsuki mutters, then whirls around to face his opponent. How did you? Just did what I had to, Ibex says casually, and walks past Katsuki as if he's not worth the time of day. You tricked me! Katsuki hisses, and he sees the freak roll his eyes. Please, as if. The boy pauses, turns his head ever so slightly so that he makes eye contact with Katsuki. You know, I usually apologize for what I say in a fight. In spars, I usually don't mean what I say. His mic appears once more, calm and nonchalant. You're the first person I've fought where I've meant every single word. Katsuki feels like he's been hit in the chest, and his eyes search through the crowd without his consent. They lock on the 1A viewing area, onto Deku. Deku's eyes never find his. They're only focused on the freak. The freak who just won. The realization burns fiercely in Katsuki's chest, and his eyes burn, too. And he doesn't even fucking know why. He knows exactly why, but admitting it is a completely different story. In the commentator booth, two men sit in silence as a short break before the final round goes on. They do not say anything, simply staring out through the glass, watching the stadium below. Slowly, Hisashi Yamada lets out a sigh. It is one of resignation and weariness, one that knows of the things that will come. Shota Aizawa blinks once, twice, a third time. He looks at his husband. He speaks. I'm quitting, Shota declares. I can't do this. I don't know if I can either, Hisashi admits. Do you think that All Might would be willing to take over the booth? Snipe? They both know the answer. Neither man would do it. No one else would either. Why? Shota asks, voice as dead and tired as the man feels. Why did Bakugo have to answer him? It's the ego, Hisashi mutters, sounding as weary as his husband. Fuck, Shota says, then sighs. Alright, we've got, what, just under half an hour before the round begins? 27 minutes, Hisashi says, and Shota nods before slumping into his seat. I'm taking a nap, Shota says, and Hisashi nods back. I think I'm going to go scream somewhere, Hisashi decides, and then he goes off to do exactly that. They're both proud, of course. Both of their sons, wards, students, made it to the final round. But really, what had they done to piss off fate so much that the woman decided to allow Izuku Midoriya and Hitoshi Shinzo to fight? The world may never know, but Shota and Hisashi will regret whatever they did for the rest of their lives. They really won't, but they'll definitely be stressed during the next round. We got the semifinals done. Next chapter is the final of the sports festival. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 37 of Vigil, Ante and the Vigilante Antics, and I see you all next time. Bye!